Pisces, some of you, your addictions are being revealed. Your hangups are being revealed. Or these are the things that have been revealed. You seem to be still dealing with some limitations and some restrictions. Um, there could be something that's going on with you, Pisces, that has been leading to, a certain amount of self undoing, because that's what Pisces represents. And I think you may be more willing to look at and move forward and act on some information that you may be getting cosmically about these things that bind you. Maybe with this eclipse that we're having coming up in Pisces, um, there may be something that is moved out of your life, and something that's going on with you in your personal life to help you deal with what the devil card represents. Having Pluto in the sign of Capricorn, Pisces, because Pluto moves so slowly, and Pluto, is definitely about obsessions and addictions, and things that we hide from other people. It's the deep dark areas of life. It's ruled by your sister sign of Scorpio. Um, these these things that I'm talking about are really nothing new, because Pluto moves so slowly. So these are the types of things that are going to be introduced into our lives wherever Pluto is transiting in our astrological charts. These are things that are going to be happening for a long time to come. So the message that I'm delivering right now, Pisces, I know really isn't news to you. Some of you I know have been dealing off and on with whatever um, these limitations are. Whatever these restraints are, Pisces, you've been dealing with that for a while. And I'm feeling like where some of you, because I actually remember some of the readings that I've done over the past, I guess the past 7 months. And we've talked about this before. And I feel like maybe where some of you had gotten a handle on these issues, they've resurfaced in the Mercury position. And the Mercury position is talking about our communications. It's how we think about things. It's how we process information. Of course, it is how we dialogue with other people. It, it, it shows us the tone of how we do it, and it also shows us the method. So whether that be by uh, phone call, text message, social media, whether you send somebody a letter, uh, honey, whether you shout out of your bedroom window, all of these things are ruled by the sign of Mercury. Those are the things that Mercury represents. It also represents what is going on, in your short distance travels, generally the things that you do day to day. It talks about your siblings. It talks about your grade school, primary school, childhood friends. In the Mercury position, we have the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups came up in the Mercury position for Aquarius as well. Very interesting, because these eclipses, we're wrapping up the eclipses in your sign, Pisces. But I was just telling Aquarius that now these eclipses are going to be, um, that energy is shifting now to that Leo Aquarius back and forth, that duality, that, you know, opposition. So, like Aquarius, you have the Queen of Cups in the Mercury position. So, Pisces, This could be, this could be like somebody that you might be a bit addicted to. Maybe this is what this devil card is saying, that maybe you're coming to an understanding and ready to act on something, because you could be emotionally, uh, psychologically even addicted to this Queen of Cups. This Queen of Cups is Cancer, Scorpio, or possibly another Pisces. And it doesn't have to be. This could possibly be on their moon or rising sign, or they could have heavy water in their charts. But like, this is somebody who, it's like I was telling Aquarius, it's like somebody, I think somebody you're struggling to understand. That's not what I said to Aquarius, actually. I said that this person was seem to be out of their reach. But for you, I'm feeling like that this Queen of Cups is somebody that you are trying to understand, and you're having a hard go of it. And I kind of feel like, too, Pisces, that the more you struggle to understand them, the more obsessed with this person that you may become. There is a mystery about her. I feel like that is driving you insane. Now, let's give this the opportunity for this to be the other way around. This could be somebody, childhood friend, somebody that you have, kind of um, gotten on with, for a long time now. I'm kind of feeling like there's been some kind of communication between you and this Queen of Cups in the past. I feel like there's been some good conversations, some happy times between you and this Queen of Cups. But I'm feeling like there's been some sort of drifting away. And for some of you, Pisces, I feel like this is something that's really eating at you. And the more that this Queen of Cups seems to be out of your reach, the more trouble, like I said, you feel like you have understanding this Queen of Cups. I feel like that there's something that's brewing inside of you. But whatever it is, I kind of feel like it's really strong, and that you feel restricted by it. You feel trapped by it almost. And I don't know, Pisces, if you really understood that that's what that was at first. And this is for those of you who are dealing in relationships. You may be coming to an understanding that this particular relationship has more of an effect on you than you initially thought. And you may be wanting, or you may have been observing, those details, those facts, and I don't know, maybe you're ready to say something about it to the Queen of Cups. Let's see what's in the Venus position. Venus is going to talk about our significant other, a spouse, somebody we could be dating, attracted to. It talks about how we want to give or receive love. It talks about the things that make us comfortable, not in the same way as the moon. It's like the things that we're attracted to, the things that we like that are pretty, that, like I said, that we're attracted to. It's about our creative expression. Okay. And Venus it's in retrograde season. It's going to retrograde next month. This is the Four of Coins reversed in the Venus position. So I feel like there has been some limitations put around a relationship, Pisces, that you may have been in. Or for those of you who may be struggling again with some sort of addiction, some sort of something that you rely on. And, that could be anything. Whether it's something that is directly taking money out of your pocket, out of your bank account, whether it is something that keeps you from doing what you need to do in order to earn more money. I feel like it's something, Pisces, that you need to conquer, because it's having an effect on, for some of you, this is having a direct effect on your money, your resources. For others of you, this could be a situation where maybe there's a relationship. I feel like some of you Pisces feel like this Queen of Cups is getting away. You feel like you may be losing what you used to have with this person, or maybe that they feel that way about you. Maybe it seems like that there was something that was there that is not there anymore, or is not going to be there anymore. And this may be what this eclipse, the solar eclipse in Pisces, is removing. Because for those of you that this is a relationship thing, I feel like this is a very very karmic relationship. And Pisces, I feel like that this is probably something, like I said, that you've been dealing with this person for quite some time now, and it may have been on and off. But it really may be time to wrap up that karmic cycle. And I hate to say it, Pisces, but I think that maybe, and we shall see, but maybe, I'm sorry, I'm having to adjust myself. You, maybe you were not actually in the present moment in this relationship. Maybe you were in your own world, where Pisces spends his time. Maybe you were escaping, and these things have come to your attention. And so now, this information is kind of like it suddenly dawned on you. And now what used to be there is not there anymore. But Pisces, there may be a need to just let it be. Maybe that it is at its karmic end. Whatever it is between you and this person, it just may be time to wrap up the cycle. Now, let me say that doesn't necessarily mean that you're wrapping up the entire relationship. There may be an aspect of that relationship, that was significant, that is really changing in a dramatic way, or going away somehow. For instance, maybe some of you were boyfriend and girlfriend and you live together. And while you're not breaking up, you have made the decision to not live together anymore. So, it doesn't have to be the entire end of a relationship, but I feel like there's some things that are definitely going to change, that are going to be moved out of your life, because it's time for it to happen. It's time for it to happen. So, keeping that in mind. In the Mars position, this is going to talk about our desires, where we put our passions toward, how we move. It talks about it talks about aggression or hostility. It talks about our sexual drive. We've got the Queen of Coins reversed. The Queen of Coins could be somebody, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Or this could be energies that you are projecting. This could be somebody who is putting a lot of time into making themselves look good, or into making their surroundings look good. This could be somebody who's putting a lot of time and energy into trying to nurture somebody who doesn't want to be nurtured. The other thing is, Pisces, for those of you who are dealing with something that is having a direct effect on your money, I feel like it's having a direct effect too. It's like whatever it is that you are putting your money towards, it could be taken away from what's going on in your home. And I guess that's kind of logical. If for whatever reason you're having issues with your resources or your money, then it makes sense that it's going to uh, take money out of your home. Pisces, I just wonder if if this is something that you are doing, then there's definitely a need for you to look at changing directions, changing what you are really making an effort to spend your money on. And again, I see shopping addictions. You know what I'm saying? This certainly doesn't have to be drugs or alcohol. With the Queen of Coins reversed, this definitely talks about somebody who may be beautifying the home, but they are spending way too much money doing it. You could be making some renovations and things like that, and it is totally breaking the bank. The other thing is Venus is about to go into retrograde, and I told this to I may have told this to one of the other signs earlier on, because I did the other signs earlier. But if anybody is having or considering having any cosmetic surgery, in my opinion, if anything is going on above the neck, I would wait. I'm talking dentistry. I'm talking anything that is going on above the neck, on that head. Um, it's like I'm feeling like this is saying to hold off on that. Wait until um, Venus it goes direct, and preferably is out of shadow even when it goes direct. Um, and I think that is. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna lie about the date, but I think Venus stays retrograde for about 4 months. Like I'm really talking about if you're planning on having something going on, and it's just like I'll give you an example. My son is possibly going to have some surgery. It's not a big, a big deal on his eyes, but I'm not letting it happen until Venus goes back direct. I've scheduled his appointments out because I don't want any. Even in his evaluations, I don't want there to be any mistakes made about what could possibly be wrong with his eyes and whether or not he really needs this surgery. And I'm certainly not going to let anybody make any alterations to him until uh, Venus goes direct and is out of shadow. So these type things. This doesn't necessarily have to be. Um, this big old deal like it has seemed as I've gone along. These could be mundane things, but with these eclipses happening, I do want to say be prepared. I do want to say be a little extra careful because eclipses can be heavy energy. It can be kind of difficult to deal with sometimes. So I feel like if you are in fact prepared, Pisces, that you can make things a lot easier as we go through wrapping up your eclipse time. So now in the Jupiter position, which is the traditional ruler of your sign, and Jupiter is currently in retrograde. Jupiter talks about spirituality. It's the ruler of Pisces. It's about optimism. It's about higher consciousness, higher learning. And since it also rules Sagittarius, which rules the ninth house, this could be about long distance travels. This could be about foreign cultures. So let's see what we got. We've got the Six of Swords. And this is a Mercury and Aquarius energy card. Six of Swords in the Jupiter position. Um, oh, It's saying that Pisces, there's an answer. There's an answer. And it may be something that you are not thinking of, but there's an answer to, there's some sort of solution. And, it's kind of like strike while the iron is hot. And you may not see what that solution is yet. And it may be because your traditional ruling sign is retrograded. So whatever these things are that are going on here with the devil card, and with this four of coins reversed and possibly this queen of coins, there is a solution that is going to come up for you. There's something that's, you're going to learn something. Something's going to come up for you. You're going to come across some information that is going to help you transcend above whatever difficulties you may be having. And this may be coming from for you when you have this eclipse in your sign. You may be starting to feel this stuff already. So, and especially as Jupiter starts to go back direct. And Jupiter went retrograde, I want to say on the 9th of this month, and it goes direct again in June. So, these things may not happen overnight. And, with the eclipses, I know that the lunar eclipse can last, I just want to be safe and say those energies can last about 6 months. And then solar eclipse, I know about a year, but I've heard people say that these things can be going on for up to 3 years. For me personally, I'm uncomfortable with that wide of a gap. So I like to look at lunar eclipses for, whatever those things are about to come from those. I see that as having a time frame of 6 months to a year from that lunar eclipse. And I see solar eclipses as being, a year. And I guess up to 3 years. I don't know. I don't, it's just so wide of time gap. Anyway, so in the Saturn position, Saturn talks about, making us responsible adults. Saturn's the taskmaster. Saturn makes people shiver when they know they have to deal with Saturn, if you know anything about Saturn. But it makes us the authority. It makes us responsible adults. It can also be, our obstacles, our restrictions, the things that hold us back. And we've got the 8 of Wands reversed. Pisces, I think what that is saying is that what has been holding you back is focusing your energies maybe to the in the wrong place. And these things may be causing some issues with your resources, with your finances, with what's going on in the home, even within, your relationships, whatever this is, however your energy has been directed up to this point, it could be what has caused you to feel like this Queen of Cups is getting away from you. And, Pisces, I have to say that may be because, with this Devil card, rather than necessarily being focused on the needs of those around you, maybe you have been focused a lot on yourself lately. Now, let me say this. It's kind of hard to have a problem with that when you're talking about Pisces because, Pisces usually is so focused on the world at large and making it a better place. And because Pisces, can be so self-sacrificing that, self-preservation is a must. And sometimes we must look out for self. I think the thing about it is finding that balance, which is something that so many of us have trouble doing. And Pisces, you are the fish that are, is swimming against each other. You're trying to go in two different directions. You're mutable sign. So sometimes it can be hard for you to find the balance, and and for you not to blur the lines in your relationships, in your dealings with people. And with this Eight of Wands reversed, maybe it could be certainly about you needing to redirect your energies, because this is what limits you right now. It may be time to try to find a little bit more balance between what it is that you want and what you need, and what it takes to make you feel good and comfortable. Because I feel like that there is somebody who is side eyeing you. She's giving you the side eye, like, I mean, so what's up? But the Queen of Cups, so far as I'm concerned, is a young woman who is very loving and caring, and she's creative, and like, I think she's magnetic, and she can be hard to resist because she is like kind of mysterious and things like that. But the reason that she is so mysterious, the reason that she seems to be somebody that you can't understand, is because even though she's the Queen of Cups, she's been through a lot, and she's very suspicious. Now, Pisces, this could be you, but I'm feeling like this is somebody else, and I feel like this is somebody who, like I said, that you've been, that you've gotten on with for a while, possibly off and on. This is somebody that you've had good times with. Dare I say, this is somebody that you love and that loves you back. But I kind of feel like maybe this person is side eyeing you now, and you may be feeling like that this person is falling from your grasp. So there may be some need to redirect your energies if this is a relationship that you want to save. Now, also, and like I said, the answers are coming to you. You will find how to, it will dawn on you, you're this guy, you're the Page of Swords. So you get this information, and I think that you will be ready to act on it. You'll figure out what it is that you need to do to save your relationship, or to not misdirect your energies and your money. So the outcome card, simple enough. Oh, we got the Temperance card, and this talks about balance. This talks about using your head, and this, also, this is an angel. So, I really, the lesson that you need to learn through all of this, the answers that you need to get, the balance that you need to achieve, you get it. You're going to, and I think this eclipse has a whole lot to do with that. Let me see. We've got 2 major arcana, 3 court cards, Pisces. Okay. Something else I see too. Okay, Pisces. Some of you, I'm feeling like some of you Pisces males, and yeah, and maybe not, because this could be for same-sex relationships as well. Pisces, maybe you have been dealing with a couple different young ladies. One possibly being this queen. And wait a minute, I think Aquarius had the Queen of Coins reversed in their reading. Oh, you know what? I don't know. That's odd. I was going to say something, but that would be very far-fetched. But that's odd, because I really think that both these cards came up for Aquarius, and she was reversed. Anyway, I am feeling like Pisces, that you may have been dealing with these two women. This Cancer, Scorpio, or another Pisces. But like, this is the woman who like loves you and is best for you. But maybe you've been putting your energy towards this Queen of Coins reversed. And maybe she's not the best choice. And if I hadn't said already, this would be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. And maybe you come to your senses. The information comes to you. You realize that maybe you have been putting your energies towards the wrong thing, and the need to just kind of satisfy, for immediate self gratification, because, the devil card is about immediate self gratification. And so, and maybe it is dawning on you and you're starting to come to your senses about who it is you really need to be with, or what it is you really need to do.